Welcome back to another Sunday prep day. As every Sunday, I am going to prep a bunch of veggies and some other things for the week, so I have everything ready to go. So just cut a bulb of garlic in half, and I'm going to wrap that up in some foil, because one of the things I'm going to make today is a roasted salsa, and that is going to go in there. And the other thing I'm going to make is some tomato soup. So I have a whole head of garlic. I have some shallots that I've peeled. Just going to dump those in. What else am I going to put in? I have these sweet peppers. So I'm just going to throw those in. And some chilies. I'll do some, let's just do all red. And some of these other chilies as well. Yeah, I'll do a green. So just a whole bunch of different chilies. Jalapenos or something, do that. I just have some cayenne, I think, and I forget what the other ones are, but they're pretty mild. So yeah. To that, I'm also going to add some cherry tomatoes. And I'm just going to make a big batch because I'm going to use it for several meals, and it will keep for at least a week. So I will make something else with that next week as well. So spread that out a bit, and then add some oil. And we're just gonna roast that for 20 to 30 minutes. We'll do it at the highest setting. 20 minutes, high. Will probably take 30, but after 20 minutes I'm just going to check to see if the skin is blackened, because that's what I need on the peppers and the chilies to peel them. And if needed to, I'll let them go a little bit longer, but I need to turn them anyway. So, what are we going to start with? First, let's do a yellow onion. I'm going to use this for, among other things, the tomato soup. And I'll use it in a few other things as well. So, as always, we'll start with the menu while I slice this up. So, for lunch today, as always, I'm just going to have some sandwiches because I'm diabetic, had to cut carbs, and the easiest way I found to do that for me was to cut them from lunch and just have regular dinners. But I do miss bread, so on the weekend I usually have some sandwiches for lunch. Those are my cheat days. And then for dinner tonight, I'm going to do some roasted vegetables with some ham that I'm going to roast as well. So you'll see me cut a whole bunch of different veg for roasting. Then for Meatless Monday, for lunch, I'm going to have a tomato soup, which I'm going to make in a bit, but I need to cut all my vegetables first. And then for dinner, what am I going to do for dinner? Oh yeah, I have some ready-made curry paste that I need to use up, so I'm just going to make a curry with some chickpeas, and I'll use that store-bought curry paste. Let's cut up some red onions as well. Just cut them in half rings. And so let's see, so we've done Monday. We'll start on Tuesday. For lunch, I still have a little bit of Romanesco left. So I will have that with some leftovers of the ham from tonight. And then for dinner, I'm going to use that homemade salsa with some quesadillas, because I do have some cheese, so I'll just do that with the chicken. And then for Wednesday, for lunch, I'm going to do some Brussels sprouts with bacon, and I'll probably throw in some vegetables as well, like some onions, some peppers if I have them left over, some chilies, things like that. And then for dinner, I'm going to do a tagine with some store-bought harissa paste, with some chicken drumsticks. Just keep it nice and simple. And then on Thursday for lunch, I have some green beans. Well, have some. I think I'll make some keto chicken nuggets. So I'll use almond flour or coconut flour to keep it low carb, and just throw them in the air fryer. And what else? Then for dinner, I'm gonna do a rice bowl with some lime cilantro rice and some of that roasted salsa again. I'll just use that in a bunch of different things the next 2 weeks. And probably have some corn with it or something like that as well. And meanwhile, I'm just gonna do some garlic. So I've already peeled these. Garlic is gonna go in the soup, in the stir fry for Friday, and probably with the Brussels sprouts as well. So I'll do a couple of whole cloves for the soup because they're gonna cook down completely anyway. So I'll just blend them up, so I don't need to cut them. So yeah, for lunch, for Friday is a low carb stir fry with just any veggies I have left over and some fish. So I'll probably do some bassa or some pollock because that's what I have in the freezer. I could do salmon, but we'll just see that on Friday. And then for dinner on Friday, I'm gonna do some fish tacos. So I still have a little bit of lettuce left over, or maybe I'll do some cabbage. And I'll probably use the same salsa again. I just haven't really decided what else I'm gonna do. I could do some cucumber, but that's one of the reasons why I do all my prep work and not cook the whole meals, because I can still change it up a bit if I want to. So yeah, we'll just quickly make the light work of these garlic cloves, and then we'll work on the rest. So I did get around to putting my Christmas decorations up, so I'm very excited about that. I think it looks really nice, and if you haven't seen my videos from last year, all the ornaments I have behind me are food related, and I got some really cool ones this year. If you, I don't know how well you can see them in the background, but if you want to see more of them, just let me know, and I'll put like a short up or something of all the decorations I have in the background, because I really like them. I have a whole bunch of like really Dutch ones, like poffertjes, which are like little pancakes, and like herring and all things like that. Pretty cool. For the stir fry and the tagine, I'm gonna do a little bit of leek, not the whole thing, just a little bit. And let's see, a little bit more than this. That's probably plenty. Just for a little bit of color. Next up, let's do some celery. So this is going to be for the soup. So I'll do like 3 ribs. Cut the little tip off. And again, I'm going to puree the soup so it doesn't need to be super fine. So just going to give it a rough chop. There we go. And I'll just put that in a bigger container with all the soup stuff. And then I have some celeriac or celery root, depending on where you're from. And I'm going to use part of this in the soup, and I'm going to use part of that for the roasted vegetables. So I'm just gonna peel it real quick, and I'll just cut it into some chunks. So cut it one way first, then the other, and across again. So like I said, one part is going in with the soup, and the other part, I'll do the exact same thing, but that's going to go in the roasted veg. And I'll just do all the things for the roasted veg in this container. And then next up, I have a whole bunch of carrots. So I have some really cool colored ones. So I have some really baby purple ones and some yellow ones. I'm not going to peel them because they are washed. Just going to cut the little tip off because that might burn. And I will cut these bigger ones in half. And these really tiny ones I'll just keep whole. Yeah, it just adds a bit of color, especially with these purple ones. There we go. And here I have some small regular carrots as well. Again, I'll just cut the little ends off because they have this little long stringy bit that will definitely burn, so might as well chop that off. And these, some of them are really skinny like this. I'll leave those whole, and the ones that are slightly bigger I'll just cut in half. And this one I'll cut in half that way, because that's a bit longer. There we go. And then I have a couple more slightly bigger carrots. And these are going to go in the soup and the tagine. So I'll just cut those into little discs. So I'll put about half of that with the other vegetables for the soup, and the rest I'll just keep separate for the tagine. What are we going to do now? Have some parsnip. That is also going to go in the roasted veg. So I'll keep the chunks about the same size. There we go. I do like some parsnip. It's a nice winter vegetable. And then one more thing, I have these little baby potatoes that I'll just throw in as well. So that's everything ready for the roasted veg. Next up, some parsley. I'm gonna do part of that for the couscous to go with the tagine. And to not waste the stems, I'll just throw those in the soup later for some flavor, and I leave them whole so I can fish them out easily. Then I have a pepper. I'm just going to use that for my tagine and my stir fry. So just just going to clean that out. And I'll just cut those into little cubes. And then next up, I have some chilies. This cayenne, I'll just leave the seeds in because they are pretty mild. But this chili, I don't know what it's called, but it's also pretty mild, but it has quite a large pith in it. So I do like to take that out. As you can see, it's quite big. And I'll just cut that into little ribbons. Almost forgot one thing for the roasted veg. I have some sweet potato as well. I'm going to leave the skin on because I don't mind the skin on. But I'll just cut that in half, then in quarters, and into some chunks. And I'll just put that in with the rest of the roasted veg. And I'll just put that in the Ninja Foodi and roast that for probably like 20 or 30 minutes. Probably closer to 30. I'll do one little cucumber for my sandwiches later. I'll do some slices. And I always get these Persian cucumbers because I think they're full of flavor. Then next, some cilantro. First I'm going to take the stems off. I'm going to save the stems to make a curry paste again sometime soon. And these I'm just going to roll up a bit and cut them nice and fine. And these are going to go in the roasted salsa and also in the lime cilantro rice. So first I'll just give it a coarse little chop. And then I'll make it nice and fine. Then next up, I have some Brussels sprouts for Wednesday to saute. So I'll just cut the end off and cut it in half. Take the outer leaves off. And I'll just quickly work through all of them. While I was cleaning the Brussels sprouts, the Ninja Foodi was done. I can see it's not quite ready yet because I really want the skin to blacken on those peppers and chili so I can peel them. So I'm going to give them another 10 minutes max temperature. Meanwhile, I'll just keep cleaning some Brussels sprouts. Okay, that's the Brussels sprouts done. Next, I have a little bit of Romanesco left over. So I'll just cut the florets off. I'll just snap them off like that. And this last couple, I'll just cut. Alright, another thing done. And last for the chopping, I have some green beans, and I'll just quickly top and tail those. Alright, that's that done. And that is all the chopping. So I'm going to do a little cleanup while I wait for the vegetable to finish roasting, and then I'll let those cool down so I can peel them. And while those cool down, we'll start on the soup. So back in a moment. So there we go. The vegetables are roasted for the salsa. So I'm just going to let those cool down so I can actually handle them. Meanwhile, I put another pot in my Ninja Foodi to make the soup. So I have that preheated on saute. I'll add a bit of oil. And in go my carrots, onions, celery, and celeriac, or celery root. And I'll just saute that with these whole cloves of garlic. And just because I have them, I do like having a little bit of pepper in there as well. And some chili. So I'll add a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to let this soften. Now that the vegetables have softened, I'm just going to add a can of tomato puree. And I'll saute that for a couple of minutes just to get that raw tomato flavor out. And then I'll add a can of tomatoes. These are diced, but you could use whole as well. And I'll just rinse out the can with some water. And I'll add about another can's worth of water. Just let that come up to temperature. And now you can absolutely slow cook this, but since I have a pressure cooker, that's just a lot easier and quicker, especially with filming. So I'm going to set this to pressure cook. And I'll just do I'll do like 40 minutes, which is probably longer than it needs, but then everything is nice and soft and I can puree it. So valve is closed, 40 minutes. So yeah, I'll just let that do its thing, wait a little bit longer for this to cool down, and then I'll see you in a moment when we make the salsa. Alright, if you've seen any of my videos before, you know how I make this salsa. So I will take some of the peppers and I will peel them because the skin will come right off. Get the little seeds out. Dump those in and do that for all the peppers and all the chilies, and everything like the onions can just go in whole, and the tomatoes. And for this garlic, since I cut it in half, it should come out really easy. I can just squeeze that right in. It comes right out of this shell. So I'll do that, and then we'll finish the rest. So, okay, everything is peeled that needed to be peeled, and I made sure to get all the juices from the bottom of the pot because that's where a lot of flavor is. Here I have one lime that I just juiced, and I'll add some cilantro, some salt, some cumin, and since I have a jar open, I'll add some chipotles and adobo sauce as well to give it a little bit of a smoky flavor and a little bit of heat because we didn't put that many chilies in. And we'll just give this a quick blitz. Give that a quick taste. I can taste the spice from the chipotles and the smokiness. That's quite nice. I will add a little bit more salt. Give that another quick blitz. Yeah, that's just the way I like it. So I'm just gonna let this finish cooling down a little bit more, and I'll wait for the soup, and then I'll be back to close out the video. You guys didn't remind me to put the parsley in. Fortunately, I did remember. I just removed them, so everything is nice and soft, so I'm just gonna blend it up. And there we go, that's the soup done for tomorrow. So I'm just gonna let that cool down, and I can put that in a different container so I can put that in the fridge. So that's all the prep done for this week. So if you like this, I do this every single Sunday. Sometimes I prepare a lot of things like I did today. Other things it's just veg, but you'll see. If you like this, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Oh, and from today, I'm also going to film another What I Eat in a Day again. So I'll start filming that in a little bit, and I'll go from Sunday through Friday, and you'll see me use all the things that I've just prepared. So thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.